explore the wisdom of the revered Narada Bhakti Sutras, a cornerstone of Hindu devotion, with His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda. Experience 45 enlightening lessons on the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Discover the path to pure love for God and transcend the material world. Embrace the teachings that have guided devotees for centuries. Attain spiritual perfection through devotion. Prepare to understand the depths of divine love. Find your path to spiritual enlightenment. Trust in the sutras. Follow these instructions. Be blessed with devotion. And now, His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda.
वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Blessed self in all adorations. This is Narada Bhakti Sutras, Sutra number 66. To give you simple introduction, this is a great scripture that gives the highlights of human emotion that moves towards God. Just as a river rising from the mountain flows through the plains and ultimately enters the ocean. Similarly, the love within your heart has risen from a mountain you don't know, with many mysterious locks, like Himalayas. And it flows. As the river flows, it encounters so many things. Frogs, fishes, crocodiles, trees, wonderful trees, green grass, blossoming flowers, prosperous cities, and ultimately it enters the ocean. That river is there in every heart, and that we call love. Everyone is innately aware of love. Everyone, including birds, animals. If love is taken away from life, there is no life. And as you go on experiencing different aspects of love, different appearances of love, you encounter many changes. To give you another way of looking at it, your soul has gone through many embodiments. You are not looking for love just in this embodiment. You have been doing that, and we are well accomplished in that. From life to life. But contents of love go on changing. Human mind or human heart is again and again wrecked, frustrated. Because you want two things. You want to love, find a love that is absolutely fulfilling. There is absolutely no possibility of change, variation. As with human beings, people say, how long will you love? And people who are verbal say forever. But that forever doesn't last even for a few days. In human world, that love has many ramifications. You love your children, you love friends, you love human beings, you love animals and birds. You love your books. You love your money. And you love God because He helps you to love these. Even during lifetime, so many things you loved so intensely, and that's just taken away from you. Sometimes you handle it in a mature way and give thanks to God for doing that. And sometimes your mind becomes overwhelmed with sorrow, dejection. You may ask, when is the time when one can take adversity in a positive way? Just give a simpler illustration. The children, for example, they're so attached to their toys. The toys speak to them, the toys console them, the toys look at them, even when the mother is not looking. And there comes a time when suddenly he's reminded he's not going to be always a child. He must grow up. He may take it in a positive way, looking at people, how they study, how they flourish, how they become successful students. And then giving up becomes easy. Or he may hold on to that frustration and continue until God releases him from that problem. This is just one little sample in life. In every life you had different type of relations, very close, very profound, very intense. But your soul moves on from one embodiment to another. And all those move away from you. You may be born in a place where people whom you loved in your previous embodiment, they may be around you. They have become older. But you consider them the neighbors, noisy neighbors. And there are times when your heart melts for their problems, but they're after all neighbors. They are not swajans, they are not the people of your family. Imagine, people of your family will become distant. Therefore, what is love? How can a person experience it? What's that state where you have found the object of infinite love and you look for love no more? And the other aspect, someone loves you, found someone to love you. Because there are two aspects, you see. As you are looking for someone to love, also look for a response. As a child, you found love in mother, father. Then you begin to find love in different ways, in your books, in your studies, in your success. Love is not limited to human beings. You can love so many things. But all that moves away like cloud. All things you have loved. Ask a person who is watching by the Miami beach to see the sun go down. It's a pathetic scene. Because the memory is a stay. How many things, how many people loved, how many you loved. You are loved and you love. The complete fulfillment is when God comes in view. God is the one who has been looking for fulfillment of love. He wants to love you. Can't let you go, no matter where. And His love is the ultimate, absolute. When you have found His love, your mind is no longer craving for any other type of love. So the object of love is God. And the question, who he loves me most, whose love can give me absolute fulfillment? God. To love and to be loved. That's the whole philosophy of Bhakti Yoga. Great Saint Kabira sings, पोथी पढ़ी पढ़ी जग मुआ, पंडित हुआ न कोय. People go on studying volumes of books in so many subjects. Philosophy, religion itself has countless books, voluminous works. Jagmuga, the whole world, dies as they go on studying all that. No one becomes a Pandit. Pandit means real scholar who can say, yes, I know all about love. ढाई अक्षर प्रेम का पढ़े सो पंडित होए. If you were to study just 2.5 letters, you will become a Pandit. Instead of studying millions and trillions of letters spread out in books, your mind should focus on 2.5 letters. Because in Sanskrit, love is prem, and prem has 2.5 letters in it. To be more flexible, love has 4 letters. L-O-V-E. Whoever learns these 4 letters needs no more learning. The consummation of all knowledge, the goal of all attainments. That's the purpose of life. God installed love in your heart. And until you find the absolute blossoming of that love, you will continue to tumble from one embodiment unto another. In this process, you go high and low. If your direction becomes more secure, then you go on ascending the ladder. Once you have understood what spiritual path is, what sadhana is, then you go on ascending. You don't get to the goal just in one jump, but you go on gradually discovering God within you and the profound love that envelops you at all times. Without going into too much details, now we're getting into the sutras. 66th Sutra, Trirupa Bhanga Purvakam, Nityadas Nityakanta Bhajanatmakam, Va Premaiva Karyam. Narada became excited. He repeats, Prem alone is to be attained. Love is alone to be attained. Love alone is to be attained. There's nothing worth attaining in this world. Don't take it literally. Everything that you attain is a part of attaining God, attaining love. In a more broader language, attaining God. God is love. The whole project of self-realization is discovering love, absolute love. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. All things in the world become dear. For whose sake? First thing, you have to bring in that equation your existence. You exist. Therefore, it occurs to your mind the problems of the world, the miseries and the attainments, and what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And in that view, how many things you love, how magnanimous you are, analyze. Whole focus is you. You have to hold on to your stability, And that is your central love. I'm leading you into deeper philosophy, which is not my intention. But then comes the question of who is me? First thing is clear. Everyone has to love the me. If you are not there, then what's the use of the whole world? All things that have some bearing upon me are loved in different degrees. Things that are directly helpful to you, love better. Things that are remotely helpful to you, you love them. Sometimes your direction of love shifts. But when you come back to a central understanding, everything is loved because of you. Even the scriptures you love, for whom? Because of you. You pray to God for whom? Because you. I'm going into deeper philosophy. God and you are the same. So, the present sutra says, having broken the triple form of relative devotion, a devotee should incessantly practice love and love alone. Even like a devoted servant or a devoted wife. Wherever you hear the term wife, husband is, both sides are implied. In the practice of devotion, as long as devotion is in the relative form, there are three components: dhyata, dhyan, and dhyeya. That's a yogic terminology. Dhyata, one who meditates, the meditator. Dhyan, the object of, rather, dhyan is the process of meditation. Dhyeya is the object of meditation. In devotional language, Pujya, Pujak, and Puja. Pujya means one who is adorable. God is the one who is to be adored. Pujak, one who worships. You are the worshipper. God is being worshipped. Suppose you are here and God's picture is here. What you are now involved in puja, an act of worship, prayer, etc. So these three are involved. So worshipper, worshipped, and the process of worship. All the three dissolve when you have highest level of devotion. That's the goal, known as para-bhakti, supreme devotion. Para-bhakti, liberation, nirvana, all these are same. In other words, just as a river entering into the ocean loses its individuality, in the same way you do not maintain your individuality. As long as you are aware you are loving God and God is being loved, your mind is also aware of the degrees. Yesterday I loved him more, today is little less. But in the highest level, you are not aware. And the question arises, why did you practice all that? When the goal comes, you are not aware. So the mystery of spiritual movement. When a river enters the ocean, dramatized, as the river is going towards the ocean, it has all types of imagination. When I go to the ocean will say, how long have you been separated from me? And many rivers will come and shake hands and say, welcome, welcome. But all that imagination simply swept away. The moment a river has entered the ocean, it doesn't know anything about it. because it has become fulfilled as the ocean. Seem difficult to understand. Try to understand the experience of sleep. You start, people who have certain problem, and everybody gets that problem now and then. You're going to sleep. In the beginning, we imagine, I want to sleep intensely, soundly. But there comes the mind starts whispering. So it's not easy. You don't know where to go. Everything is set on the bed, but you don't know where to go. Worries and anxieties enter your mind, and you just don't know how to switch off all those things. And yet, when you actually fall in sleep, all the questionings move away from your mind. How, where, when, how long, time, space, all move away from your mind. You gently dissolve. There's no awareness of your individuality. And will love your sleep. Where you don't exist. Try to understand from that point of view what it is meant by saying, I love God. You become so immersed, you become God. Lali mere lal ki jit dekhaun tit lal, Kabira sings. I went out looking for the beauty of my beloved. The mind is always fascinated by beauty, but beauty in a broad sense. Anything that is majestic, anything that inspires you. There's beauty in the sky, expansion. Beauty in the blossoming flowers. Beauty in the shimmering waves of the ocean. There's beauty even in a butterfly. Beauty in smiling children. In other words, if you look for beauty, the entire world is filled with God's manifestations. And if mind becomes too thrilled, ego dissolves. Lali mere lal ki jit dekhaun tit lal. Wherever I turn, I see nothing but the beauty of God. Beauty, sweetness, glory. Lali dekhan main chali. I went on looking for that love, the beauty of my love. But I myself turned into that, into the ocean of divine existence. I myself became that beauty. Now, there are stages leading to that ultimate merger with the Absolute, leading to the dissolution of separation. That means, as a soul, you seem separate from God. You are lover, God is being loved, and there is a distance. In the highest state, there is no distance, because you and God are not two different entities. I give you another illustration. The sun reflecting in a jar. The reflected sun looking for love. Its fulfillment lies in becoming one with the sun. In reality, it is nothing but the sun. But from a relative point of view, the reflected sun has many problems. It has the problem of looking after the little fishes and frogs near it. They all depend upon it. And I will not magnify too much. The goal behind it, ultimately, the potentiality of the reflected sun is limitless. Suppose the reflected sun were to walk out of the bucket and start looking for a little higher level, it will find many jars of water and similar souls caught in them. It will develop a sense of universal love. It may inspire them. All that goes on until the climax is reached. It is nothing but the sun. Nothing happened from sun's point of view, but from the point of view of the predicament in which every soul is, these things are the greatest happenings. Your movement towards God and becoming merged in God. Now, Sutra gives two illustrations. In human experience, mother loves a child. In that love, individuality seems to melt away. It doesn't melt away absolutely, therefore it is an illustration. Otherwise, this will be a goal. But you begin to understand, if you philosophize it, then you understand how. For the sake of a child, a mother forgets all about herself. And there is absolutely ego-effacing love. Now, similarly, another love that human world enjoys is love of lover, beloved, wife, husband. There also, if the love were very qualitative and intense, separation moves away. In very close families where there has been a different type of culture, husband and wife, they were one identity, two aspects, two faces. But this is not the goal. These are illustrations. These sentiments can be directed towards God in order to develop the ideal bhakti we are talking about. How to bring the sentiment of a mother and allow that sentiment to move towards God. How to have a melting heart and an ego-effacing love. As you read bhakti literature, 5 aspects, rather 5 attitudes are described in the practice of bhakti. First attitude is called Shanta. Each one is known as Bhava. Attitude of your feeling, how the feeling is being directed. Shanta means peaceful. You love God, but you don't make it express through your personality. It remains just calm, hidden, secret. There were personalities in the scriptures. Bhishma had that Shanta Bhava. Outwardly, people didn't know that he was doing japa of Krishna and meditating on Krishna. Outside, people didn't see all those things. Deep in his heart, he was intense devotee. But that's not easy. So you come to another level. Sakya Bhava. Turn your attitude and view God as friend. This is a specialty in Hindu culture, that otherwise generally mind will be upset. How can I be so limited? Turn to God, say, oh friend. But there is no harm in that. God is a friend of friends. There isn't any secret that he doesn't know. Only difference, you don't know his secrets. But there will come a time when there will be no such separation. So a friendly attitude. The third one, rather, before friendly attitude, I skipped one, dasya, attitude of a slave. That also is a profound experience. As long as you don't relate your mind to all the dreadful things that happen to slaves, there's nothing to do with it. It is a kind of a loving state where the master and the slave love each other intensely. We have one of those Mid-Eastern stories where a master, a owner of a house, was very impressed by the way his slave worked. He always did everything without his asking, better than anybody he knew. One day, he thought he should give something as thanks, as a recognition. So he called his slave in his orchard, that's in a garden, and made him sit near him. And there was a big apple tree, and he caught hold of one ripest apple and gave to the slave. And he was still more magnanimous. He didn't want the slave to have any problem. He had his knife, he sliced the apple, skinned it off with patience, and then gave one slice to the slave. The slave ate it and looked at the master. So joyous. The eyes were filled with joy. Then the master gave another. Each time his joy increased. The only last slice was left. Master, I should take it also to see how much. It must be very delightful taste. He took it and he spit it out. It was very, very sour. And he said to the slave, how is it? You endured all that sour slices I gave to you? The slave said, Master, this is the first time you gave to me touched by your hand. And there was nothing sour in it. I never tasted anything so delightful. Try to understand it. Even in practical world, when you see something being given to you by someone who loves you intensely, you don't examine what is being given. The very fact that it comes from a loving hand fills your heart with joy. If one were to develop that type of understanding, that God is giving you from His garden all your situations and circumstances, that they are touched by God, blessed by God, then that's the attitude of slave. I am His slave. I do the will of my master. Empty thyself, I will fill thee. Be an instrument in divine hand. So much so your ego is not there. Constantly you are simply a channel of God. If you were to learn that art, it is the sovereign remedy for all type of stress. So the entire world is being ruled by Him. He is conducting the whole vehicle of the world process. All that you have to do, think of the illustration of a train. Train is moving, someone is driving it. All that you need to do is stay in your compartment, make yourself relax, don't carry the burden on your head. You are being led. enjoy the ride instead of creating vexations in your mind and trying to push the train every now and then. Live in the world, but glide through your life. Do not bring to your mind vexing problems and start straining your nerves. How is God going to solve it? As if He needs your help. So, dasya, be a slave. The next point, sakya, which I've mentioned already, friendly. Next, vatsalya, mother's love towards the child. This again is not easy to understand. Vast majority of people, when they turn to God to think God is a child, not easy to understand. But we don't. This is just an illustration. God is not childlike, He is all wisdom. But when you develop a motherly love, that is to say, love where there is no expectation. A mother doesn't expect the child to go to the market and buy things or any expectation. Not at this stage. But the very fact you have the opportunity, the privilege to love, that becomes so joyous and inspiring. God's is similar. That attitude is developed. A parable is told to illustrate certain points. Tulsidas in the Ramayana, these are two saints. Tulsidas viewed Rama as master, himself a slave. Surdas viewed himself like a mother. And Krishna was his child. Both were traveling together. And some chariot came in a very violent way towards them. Tulsidas stayed on and faced the challenge. Surdas ran away from that and entered into a little ditch. Later, when they met together, he said, "How is it? You don't believe in God? He would have helped you." Surdas said, "Well, my God is a baby." So I have to help him. Imagine, you love God, but you have no expectation. You are simply enjoying the sweetness, the majesty, the boundless joy inherent in it. You are simply enjoying. In another form of love, there is some little expectation. All these are magnanimous forms of love. The different modes of love, they are perfectly wonderful. Whatever mode, whatever type suits you. And the highest love in human world is lover and beloved. Madhurya. That also is stories that illustrate that point. There was a devotee, a sadhaka, worshipping God. He found a place by a wonderful river, and he has put on a prayer mat which somebody gave to him from a pilgrimage center. And he had started meditating. But the lady passed by, just crossing over that rug, that whatever, with barefooted, putting all footmarks right there. And this devotee turns to her with tremendous anger and irritation. This came from such a sacred place, you blind, and this and that, all types of language. The lady was shocked. She went on listening to it. But when he finished, he said, "What type of lover you are?" I'm loving human being, mortal personality. Naturally, our love is limited. And even in that love, I don't see anything. There's no multiplicity around me. All things have vanished. I don't see any difference between your rug and the sand nearby. I don't even see your presence. And you who are supposed to love God, you are seeing me, you are seeing my feet, you are counting my toes. And you have forgotten all about your prayers. Your tongue is lashing out all types of words. So, in the plan of nature, see, God presents these experiences in human being. The experience of human love at its mature state, at its height, becomes very self-effacing. That can give you an idea. God can't be loved that way. He's not a human being. And you can't love your own soul that way because there's no duality. And yet, there is a blossoming of love. And it can be compared to the sweet love between two human beings. Compared to. But in that state, that sweetness is magnified trillion times. So these are the major attitudes called bhav. There is the saying of a sage called Dadu. Pritam ko patiyan likhun, jo kahun hoye videsh, tan mein, man mein, nayan mein, taako kahan sandesh. I would have written letter after letter to my beloved if he were somewhere outside of me. If he were in a foreign country, I would have just gone on emailing him. But he permeates my body, he permeates my mind, permeates my vision. How can I send any message to him? So that's where the Dhai Akshar, 2.5 letter reaches its blossoming point. So whoever learns divine love, to whatever degree, it all doesn't come immediately, but to whatever degree your real love unfolds from your heart, to that extent your personality becomes enriched. To that extent, the world around you becomes blessed, because all gracious qualities emanate from the love of your heart. Think about it. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.